Ninja is a steel roller coaster located at Six Flags St. Louis in Eureka, Missouri. It opened at Six Flags St. Louis in 1989 and was designed by Aerodynamics, a very well-known coaster manufacturer in the coaster community. Ninja's plan, originally, was for Aerodynamics to build it for a World's Fair called Expo 86 in Vancouver, where it would be called Scream Machine. However, before Aero could finish it, they fell into bankruptcy, selling it to a company that could easily make it, but it was a horrible choice to finish it. That company was Vekoma. After Expo 86, it was transferred to Six Flags St. Louis for the 1989 season. When you look at the stats and elements of Ninja, you might think this could be a fairly good coaster, but when you ride it, most of the elements and stats you can't enjoy, as some elements that are good on other coasters are horrible on Ninja. Some of these being the helix, the sidewinder, and more. Let's get to the POV for a closer look. You start with a slight drop into a turn. Then you head up the 150-foot tall chain lift hill. Then another slight drop into a more forceful turn. Then you drop down the surprisingly short 43 feet drop into a vertical loop. This loop might be the smoothest element on the ride as there's not much competition. Next, you head into a sidewinder, which would be enjoyed on another coaster, but on Ninja, it's just a bunch of headbanging. If you hold your head to the side, however, it's not as bad. Right after you get out of the sidewinder, you get a nice head chopper moment with the lift chain. After, you head into a slightly rough bank turn into the brake run. After the brake run, you go into another bank turn noticeably better than the previous, leading into the double corkscrew. This element, even though not as bad as some of the others, it's still pretty rough and jerky. Again, to enjoy the double corkscrew more, try holding your head to one side. Next, after you get out of the double corkscrew, you go into another turn before heading into arguably the worst part of the ride, the helix. If you thought the sidewinder was the worst part of the ride, then think again. Again, this element would be fun on another coaster, but on Ninja it's just terrible. You can feel the headache creeping in after the helix is over. When you finally do get out of the helix, you go into a compact turn and then the final brake run. When you look at the coaster as a whole, you see a reoccurring theme. Elements that are good to amazing on other coasters are not fun to terrible on Ninja. This is most likely due to the company who finished the job, Vekoma. If Aero didn't fall into bankruptcy, this could have been a great coaster and maybe a highlighting attraction. However, this didn't happen, and we're stuck with what Ninja is today, a mediocre coaster with a lot of headbanging and roughness. Sometimes, you're lucky and get a good ride on this coaster, but it doesn't happen very often. Also, a night ride on Ninja gives a noticeably better ride, and it feels faster, more forceful, and a lot smoother. Overall, Ninja is a decent coaster that could have been a nice addition for Six Flags St. Louis. But the project didn't go as planned, and we have what Ninja is today. So, for my final rating of Ninja, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10. Because it is rough, jolty, and just not really a very good ride. This is definitely not my least favorite coaster, but it's pretty high up there. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you'll consider subscribing and liking, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.